Hey there, welcome back. Today we're diving into something uh, I think you'll find truly fascinating.
Okay.
The different stages of personal awakening
Right.
and how to navigate this incredible transformation.
Yeah.
It's like a roadmap to understanding not just what's happening, but WHY and how to make the most of this wild ride.
Well, what's fascinating about this perspective is that it acknowledges that most of us are living life on autopilot,
Hmm.
driven by fears and societal expectations we've unknowingly internalized.
It's like going through the motions without really being present, right?
Yeah.
You're checking all the boxes, job, family, all that. But there's this nagging feeling that there must be more to life,
Uh-huh.
almost like a knowingness deep down that we're capable of so much more.
Exactly. And this perspective suggests
Uh-huh.
two main pathways to awakening.
Okay.
One that stems from a place of blissful questioning and another triggered by fearful questioning.
So one path is a gentle nudge,
Right.
the other a cosmic 2x4. I can relate to that. I went through a period of feeling like my life was perfect on paper, yet something was missing.
Yeah.
It was actually that emptiness that started my own journey of self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Have you experienced either of these types of questioning?
My journey started with a rather jarring, fearful questioning phase.
Okay.
It took a major life shakeup to make me question everything I thought I knew about myself and the world.
It sounds like both paths, though, different in their intensity, ultimately lead to the same destination,
Right,
questioning the very nature of reality.
precisely. And this questioning marks the beginning of a profound inner transformation. It's like stepping out of a deep sleep and into a world vibrant with possibilities.
The source material calls this initial stage the incubator. It's a period of detaching from the illusions we've built around ourselves, confronting our anxieties, and essentially cocooning ourselves to make sense of it all.
Yeah,
It resonates with that feeling of needing to retreat from the world to really go inward.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's important to understand this stage can bring up a lot of anxieties,
Okay.
which are actually signposts on the path to awakening.
Hmm.
The source material highlights three distinct types:
Okay.
anxiety stemming from ignorance,
Okay.
from a shift in vibration,
Okay.
and from the fear of the unknown.
Okay, break that down for me.
Yeah.
What does it actually feel like to experience these different anxieties?
The anxiety from ignorance is that unsettling feeling that something isn't quite right,
Right.
but not knowing what it is.
Hmm.
Think back to a time when you sensed something was off, but you couldn't put your finger on it.
Hmm.
That underlying unease can be a catalyst for seeking deeper truths.
It's like that feeling you get when, you've left the oven on, but you're miles from home.
Yeah.
You can't quite place it, but there's this nagging sense of unease.
Precisely. Then there's the anxiety from a switch in vibration.
Okay.
Imagine going from a peaceful meditation retreat straight into a chaotic, noisy environment.
Mhm.
That jarring shift in energy can create internal turmoil. Have you ever felt that disconnect?
Oh, absolutely. I remember feeling completely out of sync after a silent retreat.
Yeah.
Even everyday sounds felt jarring.
Right.
It's like your system needs time to recalibrate.
Yeah.
So what about the fear of the unknown?
Yeah.
That seems pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it play out in the context of awakening?
It's that natural human fear of stepping outside our comfort zone,
Yeah.
of questioning everything we thought was true.
Uh-huh.
It can feel incredibly unsettling to let go of old beliefs and embrace a new way of seeing the world.
I imagine it's like jumping off a cliff and trusting that you'll learn to fly on the way down.
Yeah,
It's terrifying, exhilarating, and completely transformative all at the same time.
that's a great way to put it.
Right.
Yeah. But it's through facing these fears that we truly begin to shed the limitations of our old selves and step into a more authentic, empowered way of being. And that brings us to the next phase, which can be one of the most intense:
Okay.
embracing the purge.
Okay. The purge sounds a bit ominous. What exactly are we purging, and why is this step so crucial?
It's about confronting what's often called ego death, the shedding of old identities and beliefs that no longer serve us. It's like clearing out the attic of your mind, letting go of outdated thought patterns and limiting beliefs that have been holding you back.
Ego death. That sounds intense.
Yeah,
I've heard people describe it as a terrifying experience, but also incredibly liberating.
it can be both, for sure. One of the biggest misconceptions that ego death is a singular event, a one-time ordeal you go through and then you're done.
Okay.
But it's actually an ongoing process, like peeling back layers of an onion. You shed what no longer serves you as you evolve.
So it's less about a dramatic death and more about continuous transformation.
Right.
Like a snake shedding its skin to allow for growth. But how do we even know if we're experiencing ego death? What are the signs?
It often shows up as major life changes that shake our sense of self. It could be losing a job you were deeply attached to, ending a relationship that no longer serves you, or even letting go of a hobby that once defined you.
It's like those moments when the rug is pulled out from under you
Yeah.
and you're forced to reevaluate who you are without those external identifiers.
Exactly. And these experiences, while often painful, create the space for something new and authentic to emerge. It's like clearing out your closet to make room for a whole new wardrobe that actually reflects who you are now.
I remember feeling a huge sense of loss when I left a career I thought I was meant for. It was a part of my identity for so long. But letting go allowed me to step into something much more aligned with my true purpose.
That's a great example of how ego death, while challenging, ultimately creates space for growth and authenticity. And sometimes this shedding process can even manifest physically.
Okay.
The source material mentions experiencing exhaustion, emotional turmoil, even memory lapses as part of this transformation.
It's like your entire system is recalibrating.
Right.
If your energy is shifting on such a fundamental level, it makes sense that your physical body would feel it too.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to be gentle with yourself during this phase. Give yourself time to rest, process, and integrate these profound changes.
So we've talked about recognizing we're on autopilot and embracing the purge of ego death.
Yeah.
What happens next in this awakening journey?
Well, as you shed those old layers, a deep curiosity and thirst for knowledge often emerge. You crave understanding about spirituality, consciousness, the universe. You become a sponge soaking up everything you can.
It's like those late-night internet rabbit holes, but on a cosmic scale.
Yes.
I remember devouring books and podcasts, feeling like I was finally piecing together a puzzle I hadn't even known existed.
Exactly. But this influx of information can also be overwhelming.
Right.
That's where discernment becomes essential. The ability to differentiate what truly resonates with you and what doesn't.
It's like trying on different outfits.
Yeah.
Just because something looks appealing on the rack doesn't mean it's the right fit for you. You have to try it on, see how it feels, and trust your gut.
Precisely. And this perspective cautions against getting too attached to any one teacher modality or even conspiracy theory.
Okay.
It's about staying open-minded, exploring different perspectives, and trusting your inner compass.
I fell into that trap early on,
Yeah.
thinking I had found the answer.
Right.
But I realized that true growth comes from staying curious and open to new insights, even if they challenge my existing beliefs.
Yes. And it's about balancing knowledge consumption with direct experience. It's one thing to read about meditation, but it's another to actually sit down and practice it. Knowledge is most valuable when it's applied.
Like reading a cookbook versus actually cooking the meal.
Rah.
You can gather all the information you want, but you have to get in the kitchen and experiment to really understand the flavors.
Exactly. And speaking of experimentation, this is also the stage where we start to experience shifts in our perception of time,
Okay.
leading to some truly mind-bending realizations.
Okay, this is where I need you to hold my hand and walk me through it. Simultaneous time. Timelines converging.
Yeah.
Help me make sense of it all.
Imagine time not as a linear progression, but as a deck of cards spread out before you.
Okay.
All moments, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously. It's just our limited perception that creates the illusion of linear time.
So it's like all those moments are happening at once, but we're only experiencing them one at a time through a tiny window of perception.
Exactly. And as you awaken, that window starts to widen, and you might experience things like déjà vu,
Okay.
which the source material describes as a glimpse into converging timelines.
Déjà vu. Like
Yeah.
that feeling of, wait, I've been here before.
Yes. It can feel like a glitch in the matrix, but it's actually a sign that you're starting to tap into a higher level of awareness.
So if all these moments are happening at once, does that mean we can change the past?
That's where things get really interesting. The source material suggests that our present moment thoughts and actions can actually influence the past. It's like sending ripples backward through time.
Whoa, my head is spinning. Okay, so we're starting to master time, accessing higher awareness. What else unfolds during this phase?
This is where the source material introduces a concept that might sound like science fiction, but it invites us to consider the idea of humans being a peace treaty between advanced alien civilizations
Hold on.
born from a hybrid DNA experiment.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Hybrid DNA. Are we jumping into a sci-fi movie now?
It definitely sounds like it, right?
Yeah.
But the source material presents this information as a key part of understanding our true origins and potential.
Okay.
It suggests that Earth is a melting pot of different extraterrestrial races who came together to create a new species. Humans.
So we're like a cosmic experiment.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And according to this perspective, the experiment didn't go quite as planned. Conflicts arose between these different alien factions, and Earth became a battleground for their power struggles.
Okay, this is getting intense. So where do we fit into all of this?
Well, the source material proposes that humans hold the key to resolving this ancient conflict. We carry the DNA of both higher and lower vibrational beings, and we have the potential to choose which path we want to follow.
So we're not just caught in the crossfire. We have the power to influence the outcome.
Exactly. And that's why awakening is so crucial. As we become aware of our true nature and our cosmic heritage, we can begin to heal the wounds of the past and create a more harmonious future for ourselves and the planet.
This is a lot to process. But I have to ask, how do we even begin to connect with this cosmic lineage? And what about the people in our lives who might not be on the same path of awakening?
Those are great questions, and the source material offers insights into navigating those very real challenges.
Okay.
It talks about the importance of respecting the free will of those who haven't yet awakened, even if their choices seem out of alignment with our own understanding.
It's that classic you can lead a horse to water scenario, right?
Right.
You can't force someone to awaken, but you can hold space for them and be a beacon of light.
Exactly. And the source material refers to a universal principle called the law of non-intervention, meaning we can't interfere in another being's journey without their permission.
So even if you want to help our loved ones awaken, we can't force it on them.
Right. The best we can do is to be examples of love, compassion, and understanding, and trust that they'll find their own path in their own time.
It's a good reminder. It's easy to get frustrated when people we care about don't see things the same way we do.
Yeah.
But ultimately, everyone has their own journey.
Yeah.
So speaking of guidance, the source material also talks about receiving signs and messages from the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've always been curious about.
Mm-hmm.
What does it actually mean to see the signs?
It can manifest in so many ways. You might start noticing repeating numbers like 1111, having vivid dreams that feel like messages, or even hearing a song on the radio that speaks directly to your current situation.
So it's like the universe is whispering little hints and clues to guide us along the way.
Exactly. But it's important to approach these signs with a discerning mind. It's easy to get obsessed with looking for them everywhere, and that can actually block you from receiving the messages.
It's like when you're desperately searching for your lost keys and you can't see them because you're so focused on the search.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to relax and trust that they'll turn up.
That's a great analogy. It's about finding that balance between being open to receiving guidance and not getting too caught up in the external signs. And speaking of heightened sensitivity, this phase often brings about a surge in empathic abilities, which comes with its own set of challenges and rewards.
Okay, empaths. I've heard that term a lot, but what does it actually mean to be an empath?
An empath is someone who's highly sensitive to the energies and emotions of others. It's like having a finely tuned antenna that picks up subtle vibrations.
So it's like being a human mood ring.
That's a fun way to put it.
Yeah.
But it can also be challenging because empaths can easily get overwhelmed in crowds by negative news or even just being around draining people.
It makes sense. If you're constantly absorbing the energy of others, it's crucial to have healthy boundaries and practices to protect your own energy field.
Exactly. And the source material stresses the importance of grounding practices, energy clearing techniques, and setting healthy boundaries.
I've been working on this myself. It's so easy to get caught up in other people's dramas, but I'm learning to discern what's mine to carry and what's not. It's about respecting my own energy as much as I respect the energy of others.
Absolutely. And that leads us to one of the most intriguing concepts in the source material.
Yeah.
The shift from 3D memory to 5D memory.
Okay, now you've really piqued my curiosity. What's the difference between 3D and 5D memory?
Think of 3D memory as the information stored in your physical brain, limited by space and time, like the hard drive on a computer.
Got it. So what makes 5D memory different?
5D memory is described as a limitless quantum storage system that holds the entire history of your soul, all your past lives, all your experiences. It's not bound by the physical limitations of the brain.
Wait, so all of our past lives, all of our experiences, are stored somewhere outside of our physical brains?
That's what the source material suggests. And as we awaken, we can tap into this 5D memory bank.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's also a little intimidating.
Yeah.
It's like having access to the entire Library of Congress, but not knowing where to even begin looking for information.
Exactly. That's why the source material emphasizes the importance of quieting the mind and trusting your intuition. It's about allowing the information to flow to you rather than trying to force it.
So it's about surrendering to the flow of information
Yeah.
rather than trying to control it.
Precisely. And as you start to access 5D memory, you might experience things like spontaneous flashes of insight, past life recall, or even downloads of information that seem to come out of nowhere.
This is getting really exciting. But what about the memory loss that some people experience during awakening?
That's a common symptom, and the source material offers a fascinating explanation. It suggests that as we shift from 3D to 5D memory, there's a period of transition where things can get a little jumbled.
So it's like switching from an old computer to a new one.
Yeah.
There might be some files that get lost in the transfer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the good news is that this memory loss is usually temporary. As you continue to awaken and integrate these new frequencies, your 5D memory will become more accessible.
So we're mastering time accessing 5D memory. It sounds like we're becoming superhuman.
In a way, yes. But it's important to remember that this is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
There's always more to learn, more to experience, and more to integrate.
So what's the next stage on this awakening journey?
Once you begin to grasp the true power of your consciousness, you start to embrace your role as a creator. You shift from a victim mentality to what the source calls a God mentality.
A God mentality. That sounds powerful.
It is. And it's not about becoming arrogant or egotistical. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your own reality.
So we're not just pawns in some cosmic game.
Right.
We're actually the players.
Exactly. And the source material highlights the interplay of free will and destiny. It suggests that we chose our life path before incarnating, but we also have the power to change it in the present moment.
So it's like we're given a roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
but we can choose to take detours or even change our destination altogether.
Precisely. That's the beauty of free will. We always have the power to choose.
But how do we know what choices to make?
Yeah.
How do we know what path to follow?
That's where intuition comes in. It's about connecting with your soul's purpose. The source material talks about two types of soul contracts.
Okay.
Lessons we're here to learn and missions we're here to complete.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these soul contracts.
The lessons are the challenges and experiences that help us grow and evolve.
So like those tough classes in school that you didn't want to take,
Uh-huh.
but they ended up teaching you valuable skills?
Exactly. And the missions are the unique gifts and talents we're here to share with the world.
So it's like discovering your superpower and using it to make a positive impact.
Precisely. And the source material emphasizes the importance of self-fulfilling prophecy. Our beliefs and thoughts create our reality.
So if you believe you're going to fail, you're more likely to fail.
Yeah.
And if you believe you're going to succeed, you're more likely to succeed.
Exactly. Our thoughts are incredibly powerful. They're like seeds we plant in the garden of our lives.
This is making me want to be a lot more mindful of my thoughts.
That's a powerful takeaway from this perspective.
Right.
And speaking of powerful, the source material goes even deeper into the idea of DNA differentiating between physical DNA and etheric DNA.
Okay, this is new territory for me. What's etheric DNA?
Think of it as your spiritual DNA, the blueprint for your soul's journey.
So while physical DNA determines our physical traits, etheric DNA determines our spiritual potential.
Exactly. And the source material claims that as we awaken, our etheric DNA becomes activated.
So we're unlocking hidden abilities and expanding our consciousness.
Precisely. And this brings us to the final stage of the awakening journey. Embracing your power as a creator. It's about taking all the knowledge and experience you've gained and using it to manifest the life you truly desire.
This is where it all comes together, right? We're
Yeah.
moving beyond theory and putting it all into practice.
Exactly. It's about becoming a conscious creator, taking responsibility for every aspect of your reality. And the source material shares a particularly poignant example of this power in action through the author's own experience.
Okay, tell me more about this example. What happened?
The author recounts how she was able to overcome a serious illness by shifting her vibration, moving from a victim mentality to a creator mentality.
Right.
And her body responded by healing itself.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like proof that our thoughts and beliefs can actually affect our physical reality.
Absolutely. And it highlights the importance of taking responsibility for our health and well-being. We're not just at the mercy of our genes or our circumstances. We have far more influence than we often realize.
It's empowering to think that we have that much agency over our lives. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
But it feels like we've only just scratched the surface. Where do we go from here? What's the next step on this awakening journey?
The source material encourages us to keep exploring, questioning, and expanding our awareness. It reminds us that awakening isn't a destination, but a journey. And that journey unfolds in its own unique way for each individual.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. The key is to find what resonates with you. Trust your intuition and follow your own path.
It's not about blindly following someone else's teachings,
Right.
but about discovering your own truth.
Precisely. And that's what makes this journey so exciting. There's always something new to learn, something new to experience, and something new to discover about yourself.
This deep dive has really opened my mind to new possibilities.
I'm feeling it too. There's a sense of hope and excitement that comes with understanding the true power of our consciousness.
As we wrap up this part of our exploration, I'm curious, what's the one message you hope our listeners take away from all of this?
The most important message is, you are not dying. You're just waking up. You are a powerful creator, and you have the ability to shape your reality in any way you choose. Trust yourself, follow your intuition, and never stop exploring the infinite potential that lies within you.
Beautifully said. And remember, even if things get challenging, even if you feel lost or confused, just keep reminding yourself, you are not dying, you're just waking up. We'll delve more into this incredible journey and explore practical steps you can take to navigate the awakening process in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into the fascinating world of personal awakening.
I'm still buzzing from our last conversation,
Yeah.
especially that idea of shifting from a victim mentality to a God mentality. It's such a powerful concept. But how do we actually make that shift?
Right.
How do we step into that creator role in our everyday lives?
It's about becoming aware of every moment,
Okay.
every choice, every thought. The source material emphasizes the power of intentionality. It's about aligning your actions with your highest good and consciously shaping the reality you experience.
So it's not just about positive thinking, but about embodying those positive thoughts in our actions? Exactly. It's about becoming the embodiment of the energy you want to attract into your life. Remember, our thoughts, emotions, and actions all emit a certain frequency and like attracts
So it's like we're constantly sending out signals to the universe,
Yeah.
and the universe responds by mirroring back the energy we're putting out. That's both exciting and a little daunting.
It is. But the more aware you become of your internal state, the more control you have over the reality you create. It's about recognizing that you're not just a passive recipient of life's experiences, but an active participant in shaping them.
So it's about making conscious choices that align with the life we want to live, rather than just reacting to circumstances.
Precisely. And this brings us back to the author's personal story of healing. She attributes her recovery from a serious illness to this very shift.
Oh, okay.
From feeling like a victim of circumstance to realizing her own innate power to heal.
That's such a powerful example.
Yeah.
It really drives home the point that our beliefs and thoughts can have a tangible impact on our physical reality.
Absolutely. And it highlights the importance of taking responsibility for our well-being on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. We have far more influence than we often give ourselves credit for.
I'm feeling so inspired by this whole concept of embracing our power as creators. It's like we've been given a blank canvas and a set of brushes, and we get to paint whatever masterpiece we desire. But I imagine it takes practice, right?
Yeah.
We don't just wake up one day and suddenly become master manifestors.
You're absolutely right. It's a journey of continuous learning and refinement. It's about developing a deeper understanding of ourselves, our connection to the universe, and the power of our own thoughts and beliefs.
So where do we even begin? What are some practical steps we can take to cultivate this creator consciousness and start manifesting the lives we truly desire?
That's a great question, and there are so many pathways to explore. But here are a few key practices that the source material highlights.
I'm all ears. Let's dive in.
First and foremost, it's about cultivating present moment awareness. So much of our suffering stems from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But the present moment is where our power lies. It's the only place where we can actually create change.
That makes sense. It's like that saying, yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today's a gift. That's why it's called the present. But how do we actually become more present, especially in a world that's constantly vying for our attention?
Mindfulness practices like meditation can be incredibly helpful. Even just taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly, observe your breath, and become aware of your thoughts and sensations can make a huge difference. It's about training your mind to come back to the present moment whenever it wanders.
It's like hitting the reset button on your internal chatter,
Right.
creating space for clarity and intention. I've found that nature walks also help me ground myself in the present moment. There's something about connecting with the natural world that quiets the mind and helps me feel more centered.
That's beautiful. Nature is such a powerful teacher. And it brings us to another key practice, connecting with your intuition. Intuition is that inner voice of wisdom that often speaks to us in whispers. It's that gut feeling, that knowingness that guides us toward what's in our highest good.
I love that description. It's like tuning into our internal compass. But sometimes it can be hard to distinguish our intuition from fear or limiting beliefs. Do you have any tips for strengthening our intuitive connection?
Absolutely. One of the simplest yet most effective practices is simply asking for guidance. Before making a decision or taking an action, pause for a moment and silently ask your intuition, what's the best path for me in this situation? Then pay attention to the subtle feelings, sensations, or images that arise.
Though it's about creating space for that inner wisdom to emerge and trusting the messages we receive.
Exactly. And remember, intuition often speaks to us in symbolic language. It might not be a clear-cut answer, but a feeling, a nudge, or a recurring image that guides us toward the right path.
It's like learning a new language, one that speaks in whispers and metaphors. It takes practice to decipher the messages, but with time it becomes more clear. This is all so fascinating. I'm already feeling more empowered just thinking about these practices. What else can we do to step into our role as creators?
Another powerful practice is visualization. This involves creating a clear mental image of the reality you desire, engaging all your senses to make it feel as real as possible.
So it's like creating a mental movie of our ideal life. I've heard about vision boards and creating affirmations, but I've never really understood the science behind it.
Visualization works because our subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. When we repeatedly visualize a desired outcome with strong emotion, we're essentially programming our subconscious mind to believe it's possible.
That's incredible. It's like planting a seed in the fertile ground of our subconscious mind and nurturing it with our focused intention.
Exactly. And this brings us to another important aspect of conscious creation, gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful force that amplifies the energy of what we want to attract into our lives.
I've always thought of gratitude as a nice thing to practice,
Yeah.
but I never really understood its connection to manifestation.
Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, and this abundance mindset is key to attracting more of what we desire. When we're grateful for the good in our lives, we're essentially sending a signal to the universe that we're open to receiving more blessings.
So it's about appreciating the present moment even as we're working towards our goals. It's about finding joy in the journey, not just the destination.
Beautifully said. It's about cultivating an attitude of abundance and recognizing that we're already surrounded by blessings, even if we haven't yet manifested our biggest dreams.
This whole conversation has been so eye-opening. I'm feeling a renewed sense of hope and possibility, knowing that I have the power to shape my reality. But I have to admit, there's still a part of me that feels a bit intimidated by all of this. What if I'm not good at it? What if I mess it up?
It's completely natural to feel that way. Remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The key is to approach it with a sense of curiosity, playfulness, and self-compassion.
It's about embracing the process, mistakes and all.
Exactly. Every experience, whether perceived as good or bad, is an opportunity for growth and learning. And the more we trust ourselves, the more we tap into our innate wisdom and power.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this vast and fascinating topic. But I'm leaving with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for the journey ahead.
Me too. It's been a joy to explore these concepts with you. And remember, you are not alone on this path. There are countless others who are awakening to their true potential, and together we're creating a more conscious and compassionate world.
So to our listeners, as you continue on your own unique awakening journey, remember, you are not dying. You're just waking up. Embrace your power, trust your intuition, and never stop exploring the infinite possibilities that lie within you.
And keep in mind, the most important step you can take is the next one. So take that step with courage, curiosity, and a heart filled with gratitude.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive.